From time to time, as artists and creators, sometimes we experience negative emotions. And because we feel or experience these negative emotions, a lot of times we feel we're not qualified to speak on what we're going through or how we are feeling in that moment. You know, the scripture says that Yahweh has not given us a spirit of fear, but love, power, and a sound mind. And a lot of times, what we do not understand is because we are going through negative emotions, because we are battling a fear or battling what they call imposter syndrome, you are absolutely qualified to speak on what you're going through. You're absolutely qualified to speak on what you're suffering or what you're being attacked on. And what your mind wants you to do is to stay silent and to not speak and to hide or cover it up. But that's the wrong way to think about it, and that's the wrong way to go about it. Because when you can put your negative emotions in an arena where it can be examined and seen and looked at by all, when it's brought in the open, that's when you get the victory, and that's where you'll gain strength over what you're feeling. Now, I've had a rough day. I've been going through some negative emotions, and I came down into my studio, and it's like I felt like I had nothing. I had nothing to give because I felt like the negativity that I had experienced all day put me in a place where I felt like, well, because I'm going through this, I can't speak. Because I'm feeling a certain way, I'm not qualified to speak to my audience or speak on and instruct others on how to get through it. And that's a rough place to be. And oftentimes as artists, we go through that. We feel like because we're going through something, we're not qualified to speak on it. Or because we're feeling a certain way, we're not qualified to convey or to communicate even. And that's very hard for artists to go through, because as artists and creators, we go through a lot. We take in a lot. We experience a lot. And oftentimes what we experience can be negative. It can be detrimental. It can be hurtful. It can be not so uplifting, right? And that puts us in a position like, whoa, if I'm feeling this way, I can't express. Or if I'm feeling this way, who am I to speak? Who am I to instruct? Who am I to teach? But, you know, that's actually the wrong way to look at it. And as I'm sitting in my studio and as I was pondering on, you know, all of the negative emotions that I've been feeling this day, I was like, wow, you know what? I'm not going to do a video. I'm not going to speak. I am not going to pretend that, you know, I got it all together when I don't. And sometimes that very confession will silence you. But, you know, as a creator, you have the power to take what's bothering you or to take that negativity and turn it into something beautiful. You have the power to turn something negative and something beautiful. You have the power to make art, and art can be made from anything. It can be made from any emotion. It can be made from any feeling. It is an expression, whether good or bad. And I think oftentimes we bury those things that bother us, those things that are hurtful, and those things that put it that those things that make us feel down. We kind of bury that. But what I would give to you today is take that which is bothering you, take that which is vexing you, and put it out into the open and make art out of it. Make something beautiful out of it. I wanted to do this talk because, I really had a bad day. I really had a rough day. And it was like, how in the world how in the world am I going to make a video today when I'm going through such chaos and turmoil in my mind? And my whole thing was I came down in my studio, and as I was processing these thoughts, I said, you know what? I'm just going to speak from my heart, and I'm going to speak um, what I'm going through. And what I'm going through right now is, not actually feeling worthy of speaking on this subject, because I felt like I had such a rough day that, things were going to go south, or I didn't have anything to say. But as an artist, you always have something to say, even if it's bad. You always have something to say, even if it's something sad, even if it's something negative that you're going through. So, art is a process of putting ideas together to make a cohesive thought. And oftentimes, what we find is like when we're in a state of negativity or we're in a state of chaos, it's hard to string those thoughts together to make sense out of it all. And I think the greatest thing you can do as an artist is to take a thought and to weave it together with other thoughts, whether good or bad, to make something cohesive. My whole thought in stringing my emotions together is that Yahweh has not given you a spirit of fear. I dreaded coming down to speak in front of this camera based on what I was going through, based on the negative emotions that I was experiencing during this day. And what I want to show you is that you can absolutely take that negative emotion, that what you're feeling or what you're going through, and you can analyze it and you can put it in the open. You can put it on the table. And like my old art teacher used to say all the time, walk around your subject. Look at it from a different angle. Look at it from a different view. If you're having trouble drawing your still life, your model, then stop what you're doing, walk around it, and look at it from every side, and then choose the best side. And what I'm doing right now is I'm choosing the best side of what I'm going through, dealing with some personal issues, some family issues, and um, it is totally just took me off of my game. But when I thought about it, I was like, you know what? I'm not going to allow this to stop me from doing what I love to do. And when you love something, you're going to find a way to do it. When you love something, you're going to find a way to experience that thing. And I absolutely love talking about art. I absolutely love talking about the creative process. That's why I started this channel. And that's why I'm here today. But it almost didn't happen. And the reason why it almost didn't happen is because I was really, really stuck in my head on the problem, but not looking past the problem to the solution. And I want to encourage you, you artists and creators out there, if you're going through something, if you're feeling some sort of way, look past the problem. Look beyond the problem. Take a walk around the problem and see it from a different angle, see it from a different side. Because when you do that, you're going to have a brand new perspective and a brand new outlook, and you're going to see the solution. You see, oftentimes as artists and creators, we can get so stuck on what we're working on, or so stuck on one little piece of the problem, that we can't see all the other pieces and all the other sides. And sometimes you have to stop and step back and look at what you're doing with fresh eyes. And I want to encourage you all to do that. Be brave. Be brave to put the pen down, put the brush down, put your pencil down, stop for a moment and really take a look at the problem. Because basically every time you draw, every time you paint, every time you create, whatever it is that you do, whether you're a musician, poet, whatever, you're a problem solver. You're there to solve a problem. And the only way to solve a problem is to look at it from different angles and different points of view. And serving Yahweh and knowing Yahweh, He can see things from a higher vantage point than you can. And the goal is to get to that higher vantage point every time you face a problem, to look down on the problem and not up at the problem. And that's what I believe was taking place with my creative practice today. I was looking up at the problem as if the problem was the giant, but no, actually, you're the giant. You know, the word says, greater is He that lives within you than he that's within the world. If you're greater, you're bigger, right? You're bigger than your problem. You're greater than your problem. Your problem doesn't lord over you. So I want to encourage you as artists and creators, don't stop at the problem. Don't flinch at the problem. Don't back away from the problem. Face it. Because when you do, you're going to create something beautiful. You're going to create something enduring, and you are going to overcome it and create something beautiful for the world to see. I hope this video helps somebody. If you like it, please like, comment, and share. And don't forget to subscribe. I love you all. And I will see and talk to you guys again. Yahweh bless. Peace out.